Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Progressive Discussions. I'm your host, James P. Madonna. I've been doing this since 2007, and welcome to our Easter 2023 weekend special show, or should I say, Happy Ishtar, the origins of Easter. Connected, pertaining to the fertility goddess Ishtar, paganism, the rabbit, the Easter eggs, it's all connected to the fertility goddess. Happy Ishtar. So I hope everyone has great plans this weekend to spend quality time with family, loved ones, which are not necessarily the same thing. Some people have loved ones that are really not their relatives. Well, all the pain in the asses that I was related to, they're all deceased. So there's just one pain in the ass, but I'm going to be at my sister's house for the weekend. Sister and brother-in-law. But anyway, yeah, all the pain in the asses are deceased. The ones that ask you irritating questions, nosy relatives. They don't ask you how you're doing, how you're feeling. They want to know, are you working yet? Are you working? Are you working? Yeah, they just want to talk about fucking work. Gainful employment. They don't talk about hobbies or interests. They don't talk about anything pleasant because they didn't have any lives. The older generation folks, all they had is their job. All they thought about is money, making money. They come home, they have dinner, they sit in front of the television and stuff their face with snacks, and that was it. And then repeat, 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 repeat. And they used to brag, "Oh, I get a lot of overtime. I'm happy about that. I get a lot of overtime." Yeah, they don't realize with all that overtime, you pay more taxes. So it doesn't pay. The overtime does not pay anymore. Here is my illustrious long time friend. Uh, I'm echoing fucking Apple Corporation Safari. He'll fix it. It just takes sometimes it takes a little while. Yeah, he has a iPhone and they force it when you go live stream, they force you to use Safari. And Safari is not compatible. Yeah, Safari is not compatible with live streaming. So let's see if it works now. Boop. Good.
Hey, oh,
Hello?
the usual beginning fun.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, the usual is right. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Oh, we're okay now. We're okay now. Okay, this is my right hand man, my co host, Mick Von Raven from Chicago, Illinois, and they just elected a new mayor, but it wasn't the mayor that the intelligent Chicagoans really wanted. The ones that have all their brain cells firing like a Ferrari sports car, like Mick Von Raven. You know, they have I guess the politically correct mayor now.
It's a dumpster fire. It's just like the last one. Lori Lightfoot. This guy's going to be an idiot, and so on and so on.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at Bernie Sanders. I mean, I have to call him like I see him. Sometimes he really shows his raisin balls, and he showed it again by talking about defunding the Chicago PD, the Chicago police, defund the police, and spend the money towards social programs. Okay, that sounds fine and dandy, but who's going to fight all the violent crime in Chicago? If you
Yeah, it's a farce. And this candidate was quoted as saying defund the police, whereas Paul Vallis said we need a bigger police presence and the safety of the city people of the those that voted for him. They're going to find out the hard way. I don't get to vote because I'm in the suburbs, but I lived in Chicago, the city, for 9 years, and I go to Chicago all the time. So it's got plenty of effect on me, and I'm highly disappointed. But I hate to say it, nowadays I'm not that surprised.
I mean, the way everything is going with political correctness and wokeness and all this shit and giving special treatment, not being afraid to say no to certain lobbying groups. You know, it's really not only is it foolish, it's really
Dangerous?
it's dangerous, and it's just downright brain cell deficient to make a statement like that, especially for Bernie Sanders, unless he's pandering to to
To
the
the woke?
the minority vote and the Black Lives Matter and the woke voters and the maybe he's got something cooking in 2024 and he's pandering for votes, but you don't say to a city with a high crime rate, a high homicide rate, defund the police, and give it all to
No, you don't.
social programs. What does he think the low income people in Chicago are going to do with all those social programs? They're going to buy drugs or
Alcohol?
alcohol, drugs and booze, and it's not going to do a damn thing for the crime rate. Not a damn thing.
No, sir. No, sir. And right now we're living in some rarefied times of political. Oh God,
Hold on.
what's there? This is an extension of bad political politics. Our politics is a slew and stew of shite. I mean, it's always fling poo at the other guy, but not face reality. I'll blame you. You blame me. Let's not address what's really going on in the room, whether it's in the city of Chicago or in the White House. And then this thing with Trump's arraignment, everyone's using it, pretending he's like Jesus and he's being persecuted. He's, he's more like Satan than anyone.
Yeah, the Antichrist.
I mean, he did some good things in his presidency. I won't deny that, but trying to become a dictator and overthrow the government's not one of them.
Damn right about that. I mean, he has so many skeletons in his closet
You
that
know, he's
I
getting
mean,
his comeuppance. He's broke the law. He's been a scofflaw his whole life, and this is the tip of the iceberg. When they get him for January 6th and for Georgia, yeah, he's in real deep shit, regardless of what
but,
anyone
but,
thinks.
but the 34 charges don't even involve Georgia in
I
January.
know. So he's got a litany of violations that are going to take him down, and it's really going to happen because he really did this stuff. It's real. It's not made up. And those the votes weren't counted right. Those, no, it's been on track, and now he's got to pay the piper.
Yeah, well, and his father was no angel. He was a slumlord and a conniver, just like him. And Donald Trump learned from the best. He learned from his old man, and he was also a big time racist
Oh
as well.
yeah, head of the Klan in the New York.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, he's so crooked that they would have to screw him into his grave. They couldn't, like a corkscrew. They couldn't. I mean, everything. Like the old saying, if it sounds, walks, and looks like a duck. I mean,
Yes,
everything is
exactly.
everything is so obvious today that you don't need to have a high IQ to understand and notice what's going on.
Criminal
Um,
behavior is recognizable when it's flaunted right in front of you. Scofflaws and the law of man is ignored and just thrown by the wayside. It's really
yeah,
strange that the Republican Party would embrace that. They were always the law and order party, not anymore. This is not your father's Republican
and
Party.
they're teaching uh, um, American public as well as young people. They're teaching them that selfishness is a virtue. All of a sudden, selfishness is. I think Ayn Rand started that.
self-interest and being for yourself only. Hey, do me a favor. Talk a little bit about what you had put up here in New Jersey. I'm not from the area, so I wasn't aware of
Okay.
this.
Okay. Um, this I just learned today. New Jersey legal weed dispensaries pay fines for slighting medical marijuana patients.
That's not. That's like kicking the ill and the poor when they're down.
Yeah, April 1st, 2023, it came out. Let's see what this is about. I guess that's one dispensary. I guess I don't know if that's the line to get their stash, or if they're protesting the botanist. Okay. Long lines and tension at the botanist in Williamstown. The medical and recreational cannabis dispensary paid a $5,000 fine for making patients wait to buy their medicine. Uh, deliberately making them wait, I guess? Let's see. Shortly after the legal weed market opened 11 months ago, the Cannabis Regulatory Commission cited five cannabis operators: Ascend, Curaleaf, Verano, GTI, and Acreage for selling to the public during times reserved for registered patients. In other
Wow,
words,
greedy. Yeah, they
reg-
were
yeah.
greed.
So that's it. So registered patients had, I assume, appointments to pick up their medical marijuana,
Yes.
and they just waited for the highest bidder, I assume.
You know, a
You
lot of people, instead of turning to opioids, are using medical marijuana, and it's the right thing. It's not addictive. It helps them. I know people that use it medically, and it's just one of the great. It's God made. It's grown on Earth,
well,
and
I mean, I played the video of Jesse Ventura telling the story about his wife having very severe seizures, and he at the time he had to go to Colorado to get her to be able to use
yes,
the extract, the drops under her tongue a few times a day. And ever since she tried the cannabis extract, she hasn't had a seizure. He said that medical doctors put her on several different drugs for her seizures, and nothing worked. Nothing,
wow.
nothing worked. And then he heard about marijuana, about cannabis extract, and it worked. And she hasn't had a seizure since, and since she put the first drops under her tongue.
Yeah, that's a miracle thing. Marijuana is a miracle plant, really is. So many
Oh,
different versatile, useful, helpful things.
yeah. Well, the whole species, the hemp plant, is the biggest cash crop known to man, and it is so versatile and has so many positive purposes that it is literally, I get one of God's prize plants. I think it is.
They should have marijuana celebrations.
Should be a
They
damn.
really should.
Should be a marijuana parade, and
Yeah, and marijuana should be used in religious ceremonies, not just wine. I believe maybe I'm getting Rastafarian here. What can I say?
not just wine and frankincense and myrrh, incense. Like instead when the priest has
Yeah, there should be some weed in there, man, with that
the chain,
frankincense.
when he's got the chain with the little lantern on the end and the smoke coming out of it, and he's going clink clinky clinky clanky clinky clank. It should be should be
Yes, it
marijuana
should
there.
be. It should be.
I
Hey,
mean,
I saw an alarming headline. I just want to change gears for a second that GOP's trying to find a way to expel three Democratic senators, impeach them, and get them out. Have you seen that?
yeah. What's their
What is?
problem?
I mean, how can they get that done? That's a witch hunt. And is that so they can control more of the Senate?
They 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 don't. I don't think fair play is part of their
No,
vocabulary. They
no,
play they play
dirty.
dirty, and they just care about their agenda of greed and corruption through greed and corruption. Combination. Their agenda is number one with them. They don't care about really the American people, the voters. They can care less about the American.
Yeah, it's inconsequential that, anything good happens to them.
Yeah, it's like it's pure selfishness. That's what it seems like to me. It's like they don't care about the voters that put them in office, the fools, like Mitch McConnell. What is it, Wolf County, Kentucky? These rednecks,
Poor.
they're living in shacks, and they keep reelecting Mitch McConnell
He does nothing for them.
because he does nothing for them. Republicans never worked for the poor and the middle class. Never.
No.
And why? Because they keep repeating the same thing. Oh, Democrats are baby killers. Oh, abortion. But so their religious cult, which they belong to, these
And they
evangelists,
love the corporate world.
that's all. That's their world. Their loyalty is to the fat cats that
The
line their
top
pockets.
Yeah, the top 1%, the oligarchy, they run this country, really.
I mean, like Jesse Ventura was right. A politician is not obligated to meet with lobbyists.
And I have right wing friends that are going off on me because I'm a Biden supporter saying, oh, the economy and everything, it's all the president's fault. Look, when Donald was a president, it was all fine and well. The president he's not an economist, you know? He doesn't run the economy. He doesn't give out rates and take points away. I
Right.
think what happened is uh, under Trump, he gave so many breaks that now we're paying for all of what he did for his friends. There's always a fallout when one presidency does well, the other one usually pays for it.
Yeah. Well, look what happened when G.W. Bush took over for Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton had a surplus, and G.W. Bush, with Dick Cheney,
Squandered it.
put those put those unnecessary wars on a credit card and forget it, and put the country in very deep debt.
And
And then
Halliburton profited both of them very much. There was a very profitable war for those two.
Halliburton, and then Barack Obama inherited that mess, and they fought him tooth and nail.
Just
They
because he was black and he was half black. He was mixed race.
Yeah, his mother's Irish. His mother was Irish, and but the point is, yeah, and then they were claiming he was born in Kenya and all this nonsense. I mean, the point is that even Trump, before he ever ran for the presidency, was on this tangent about uh, in search of Barack Obama's real birth certificate, but they just don't want anyone to anyone that is to the left of where they are, which is fascism. They don't want anyone who's moderate or progressive to be elected to anything, not even dog catcher. Let's just say,
Did you
good, good morning, Masumi from Japan. Good morning, my dear. It is now, I believe, 9:22 a.m. Friday in the Tokyo area. So, good morning to you, Masumi. All right. Thank you for stopping by.
did you
Oh,
s- did you see Clarence Thomas is in the hot seat for all of his accepting lavish gifts and such? I
Oh,
knew he was a weasel all along, and his wife's a POS.
oh my God! You mean we're talking about a Supreme Court justice taking taking bribes?
Yes, yes, lots of them. Lots, not a little bit. A lifetime full.
Hey, when the hell is Joe Biden gonna stack the Supreme Court with
I don't
progressive?
know. And when is he going to legalize marijuana federally? Come on, Joe.
And when is he going to expunge the student loan debt?
With the executive order.
That's the only way. And you know, the only time he did, the last time he did executive orders, it was after he got inaugurated in January.
Yes. Yes.
He had a whole bunch of them that he did, and then he stopped.
And I see this headline: Saudi Arabia cuts ties with the U.S. for economic independence. So they are our pretend allies, Saudis, behind 9
Well,
11.
that's where the 9/11 uh,
Mastermind
terrorists.
fuckers. Yeah.
Most of them were Saudis.
They were
And,
sponsored by the Saudi state. I didn't know they weren't independent. So that mean what? They're going to jack up oil prices even more?
well,
OPEC?
what's going on is um, Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, and whatever countries consider themselves adversaries of the United States. They're not. They don't want to deal with the U.S. dollar anymore. They want to deal with the Chinese yuan,
Oh, God, no.
which is Y spelled YUAN. And let's see what we got here. Good riddance to bad rubbish. They're evil anyway. Saudi Arabia aims to adopt an economic strategy independent of the United States due to declining relations during the Biden administration. Yeah, because Joe Biden tells it like it is, and he probably told the prince off.
Yeah, Saudis want their ass kissed. The prince does. They're still into the royals and all that bullshit. Like they're better than you because they've got royal blood. I got news for you. You're not better than anyone.
Yeah, but they're a murderous lot.
Yes, they are. Very much so.
Uh, um, um,
Saudis, they murder so many people that when they handed that reporter back to Trump and he didn't even question it.
Gee whiz.
How about
Yeah,
that guy for the Wall Street Journal that's been detained in Russia? Well, first of all, don't go to Russia ever, anyone, unless you're Edward Snowden or any of these celebrities that seem to love him so much. Putin
well, Edward Snowden is a hero, and
and
uh,
a traitor at the same time.
at the same time, now Julian uh, Assange,
Assange.
Assange is he helped Donald Trump, I believe.
Oh yeah, he got paid. He was a for hire, and what he did, I don't believe he's innocent in any way. He took money to sway an election, and he did help.
Okay, let's see what we got here. The country and the OPEC Plus group have announced a cut in oil production of around 1.6 million barrels per day to achieve market stability. In a surprising move, Saudi Arabia and the OPEC Plus group of producers have announced a cut in oil production of a. You just said that. Why are they repeating the same fucking thing? While the move is aimed at achieving market stability, according to a recent report from
It's
the
a
financial,
scam.
Saudi Arabia is attempting to adopt an economic strategy that is independent of the United States. Okay, but now they're showing their true colors. Unexpected cut in oil production.
That's
Uh,
a crock of shit right there. They're trying to get gas will be $10 a gallon or something.
they're the motherfuckers because Joe Biden probably told them what they really are. They're trying to put the squeeze play on the United States
All the
because
time.
they know
They
they
want their ass kissed because they're royals and they need their ass kicked.
yeah, you damn right. Saudi Arabia's growing ties with China, that doesn't surprise me.
there's something evil going on in the world when China's talking to Russia. They were never allies ever.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're buddies, right?
World War II, China and Russia were not allies. So
Yeah,
why now?
from what I'm reading here, it India wants in on it too. Oh,
Oh man, that's not good.
motherfuckers. They're not nice to Americans anyway. If you go in their quickie marts, they're
Well,
Seven
they got to
Elevens.
know which side of the bread is buttered, and it's not through Saudi and Russia. Russia will use any number of countries. Russia's very upset that Finland's joined NATO. He's practically shitting himself now.
Oh, they did
Putin.
join NATO,
Oh yeah, they're going to. It's been announced they're joining.
Finland. Yeah, because it's a border country with Russia.
Yes,
So is
yes.
Poland. Poland is a border country.
NATO's going to be surrounding Russia very soon.
So it appears instead of me, uh, it's not a long article, but I will summarize everything and say that it seems like all of the adversaries, the rogue countries with dictatorships and the
And monarchy.
monarchies that don't get along with the United States. They all seem to be getting in cahoots with Saudi Arabia. And here's the photo of the
The
demonic
prince.
demonic prince.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
He does
and
not value human life at all.
no, not at all.
Just like Putin, he does not value human life at all. And
Oh,
I
no
think
way.
Putin's finding out. I'm sorry, what, James?
Yo, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah,
Okay,
he's
yeah, Putin's finding out that the Russians really don't want to fight his war. Many of the
nope.
soldiers are defecting and they don't want to die. They didn't want this war. Only he did. And his plan to reclaim anything that used to be the USSR is failing. He will not succeed in that. He will be out of office at the end of this war. I believe he's gone. Maybe even by their own hand, they might even kill him because of what he's done to the country.
Oh
He's
yeah,
crippled Russia.
the Russian oligarchs have lost their fortunes. They were confiscated by the United States government. Or they're probably furious at Vladimir Putin.
Exactly. It's sad that in this day and age that we're talking about wars when we thought wars would have been abolished by now.
Yeah, like China is obsessed with controlling the South China Sea, even if it means going into international waters and private waters of other countries like the Philippines and Malaysia and Vietnam and Singapore and Thailand. But it looks like they're trying to. It looks like they have ambition to build an empire,
Oh yeah.
like this President Xi is.
They had a phony election and he won again. Gee, what a surprise.
Yeah, how come I'm not surprised at that? It reminds me of the time this very corrupt Colombian president, when I was married to my ex, he ran for re-election, and there was his opponent was like a real honest, nice guy and everything, and he was as crooked as they come. And the election results is that the crook won by a landslide in every section of Colombia. He won by a
That's when
landslide.
that's when they have the results taped to the bottom of the ballot and they just reach down and pull it up. There it is.
Yeah, and he represents. He was very um, chummy with American Republicans, and it doesn't surprise me because he was the type where there really was no middle class there. It was only the very poor and the rich, and you have to pay out of pocket, just like the Philippines. You have to pay out of pocket for everything, and if you get sick and you don't have insurance and you don't have money,
You'll die.
they allow you to die quietly outside the hospital. There's no.
Who is this economist you put on the screen? Is he part of the Chinese government or
Now he's talking about this uh,
talking about the destruction of our economy?
catastrophic collapse of the American currency.
I don't believe that. It never has collapsed ever. It's never going to.
You should go back to a gold. What do you think? Gold-based standard. Uh,
Yeah.
Robert Kiyosaki warns U.S. dollar will return as a tidal wave of toilet paper on America.
Yeah, this is what I have to say to him. Fuck you. US dollar. Who is
Oh,
this Jamoke?
oh, is this a? Hold on, let me see. He looks like he's insane.
He looks like he's one of
Hello,
those.
Robert Kiyosaki. This is Emergency Podcast number 3. And I want to thank my friend Andy Scheckman for bringing me personally up to speed because I knew something was going wrong all these years. But I lost the macro. I didn't get the bigger picture of it. So this is the emergency broadcast number 3. Number 1 was Andy's warning about what Janet Yellen, who was the Secretary of Treasury, but she was also the head of the Federal Reserve Bank. So there's a little conflict of interest there. But how she was warning people, saying that Janet Yellen herself, the FDIC, and the Federal Reserve Bank will determine which banks survive and which ones die. So Andy called up. He says, we got to do emergency podcast number 1. Number 2 is, what does it mean when Japan and Mexico want to join the BRICS? And the BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, and on and on and on. But if you have Japan and Mexico, who are possibly as close to us as Canada, joining the opposing side, that's number 2. And I think is by far the best financial literacy video I've ever done. So that was number 2. So Andy will please watch that one. It goes in depth. And today is number 3, emergency podcast number 3. And emergency podcast number 3 is not for you who are paying attention. Emergency podcast number 3 is be careful for those who are not paying attention. In other words, we're about to go into what's called the Wile E. Coyote moment. Everybody's running along and says, oh, don't worry, the Fed's got my back. The economy is fine. I love this guy Biden, and America's the greatest, and the economy is safe. And when people crash, when this thing crashes, and it's coming soon, it's the people that are not prepared, the people who are not watching this emergency podcast number 3, haven't watched number 2 or number 1, are the ones you're going to have to be afraid of.
This guy's a Republican, I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
His emergency podcasts.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
It sounds like he's getting people all stirred up, shaking the can of Hornets.
Because he wants people to run and take all their money out of the bank so the banks collapse. That's what he's promoting without saying it.
And he's bashing the Biden administration, Janet Yellen, and
I sent you a link on the chat. There was some Democrats and Democrats in Tennessee were expelled for their protest against guns. 2 out of 3.
Oh, okay. All right.
Tennessee Senate or something. I don't know. God forbid anyone would want to have gun control. I
Well, I
mean,
know. Yeah, North
every day
Carolina.
there's a shooting, a mass shooting every day in the world, every single day.
North Carolina wants everyone to be able to buy firearms without a permit. So
Even the mentally ill.
no, they didn't say a word about background checks and the mentally ill or anything like that. They just said,
And
they were putting down the gun control bill, uh, by by the Democrats, that the Democrats were pushing, and they somehow prevented that gun bill
you
from.
know, after Sandy Hook, they should have passed it. I still don't understand why we haven't passed any gun control laws in this country. And that doesn't mean take firearms from people. It means reasonable care. It means reasonable background checks. 9 out of 10 of these shooters have a mental illness record, and they still got a hold of weapons.
Yeah, I took a look at that article. The font is small, but I got the gist of it. It's a big article. Yeah, fair play is not how they operate, and I think you think the NRA is paying them off to be pro gun.
Yeah, I think so. I thought the NRA went bankrupt when they were, or was that the gun manufacturer when they were sued for Sandy Hook?
I mean, when they were screaming that Obama was going to take away their guns, that never happened.
Well, that's the thing. This country will never take away people's guns. So I think that's a false fear.
Look,
I
if
don't understand.
you're a law-abiding citizen, and you're a normal person who would pass any background check, and if you're a hunter, um, that likes to go out and shoot some deer and wild boar or whatever, and have some wild game in your freezer, there's nothing wrong with that either. But if you're a mentally
Extremist?
an extremist, a terrorist, a
Mentally ill?
mentally ill, you have unstable psychiatric problems, issues, you're mentally unstable, you should not have not even a BB gun, not even a bow and arrow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand. With school, grammar school being unsafe. Who would think?
Not when I was a kid,
In a
that was
million,
one of the safest places you could be.
I mean, yeah, but my childhood was stress free. I mean, except for the
There was
fact
no
that
shooters.
no, we didn't have that. The only stress I had was uh, I hated homework.
Yeah, me too. And then the surprise quiz and all that baloney.
Yeah, I mean, and I hated homework, and uh, we got too many damn books that I had to carry in a fucking book bag, and it just,
Oh, but before I forget, I wanted to bring up something that happened to me on Fuckbook, as I call Facebook. I was put into a week-long timeout with no explanation, and then in my feed, I started seeing ads with phallic symbols of penises drawn.
oh, you showed me,
And
you showed
and
me that.
why is that okay? Now, if I had an ad of vaginas being depicted, even if it was natural, I'd be up Schmitz Creek. They'd probably ban me for life. And I'd say, well, I'm just, advertising about some care for medical care for vagina. I'd be in so much trouble. Your head would spin, but I reported it. I've seen it, saw it again. Another post. It looked like a girl was performing oral sex, and supposedly a woman posted it. And I'm like, so Facebook doesn't really know what it's doing. Their watchers, they watch, the wrong thing, and then they let everyone else run roughshod, just like they let the Russians run roughshod over them during 2016 election. As long as they paid for it, they could, put fake news on Facebook.
Exactly.
So Facebook is a corrupt, broken piece of shit.
It's just it's they're all incompetent. It's like it's a company run by incompetent people that you wouldn't want to hire at a Starbucks.
No,
You
and
know,
he's gone on the cheap, cuts here, cuts there. I can't remember the last time I saw Facebook didn't always have an ad every single time now. Every time you open Facebook, there's an ad. Every single time.
well, I'm bombarded with even if I read articles on the browser on the internet, I'm like, I see
The ad
the
in
bait.
your feed.
I see the bait on the hook. I see the interesting title to the article or the video, but then when I click on it, when I go to it, there's like a ton of it's like a bait and switch where
Yes.
I can't close out the advertisements. Like they want me to subscribe. If I want to read the article, I have to subscribe to them. And then there's a whole, and then often, and even YouTube is doing this now. The video,
YouTube is brutal.
the video or the article does not apply to the title. Like the title is supposed to attract your attention to want to watch the video or read the article, right? But the content is not related to the title. It's not applicable. And you're like, well, why does the title say this? But
Yes.
the video is about that, and sometimes there's like a little tidbit of what the title says.
The,
It could
it's
be
just a bait and switch, and Facebook should be ashamed. It used to be free flowing and easy to use, and kind of like a roots project for the people instead of turning into a corporate weapon. I don't know. I think it's a really corrupt thing now.
well, the bait and switch is a very old sleazy technique used by retail for many decades,
Yes.
and it's underhanded because it's false advertisement.
Yes, it is.
And they used to do. One time there was a sale. This is back in the day when we had to buy regular mattresses. There was no memory foam. Okay, the mattresses that were, if you have sex, it goes squeaky, squeaky, squeaky.
Yep.
Okay, they had a sale on these extra firm mattresses, which I like. And when I went there, they said, "Oh, we don't have. It didn't arrive yet. The mattresses didn't arrive yet. We're not sure when they're going to arrive, but I could show you a much better mattress than the one that's on sale." I
Oh,
said,
that's illegal.
right. So, in other words, their much better mattress was much more expensive, and it
Yes,
wasn't,
sir.
and it was not the sale mattress. So I said, "Well, your advertisement mentions this mattress. When are they arriving?" "Uh, we're not quite sure. There's a problem with the shipping. They're tied up somewhere. But you know what? Have a nice day. Goodbye."
Exactly.
It's like Okay, now for the okay. What really pissed me off. Okay. I kind of figured they were going to do this, but what I learned about it was very infuriating. And
What is that? I'm sorry.
yeah, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up. Okay, did it appear? Okay. It's unbelievably dishonest, but they don't mention it at the very beginning, though. But
You'll be able to tell your kids about how the US dollar was once the strongest currency in the world, and you were there to watch it fall into ruin. You'll be able to explain to your kids that it was all self-inflicted, how arrogance, greed, and bullying led to the collapse. We'll get to that part of the story in a minute. But first, you'll also be able to tell your kids that you were there when they took away paper dollars and coins in favor of a US digital currency. And you'll be correct, because in fewer than 24 hours, the United States dollar changes forever. Tomorrow, the first week of April, the Federal Reserve begins the rollout of their new central bank digital US dollar. That's right. It's called the Fed Now program, and it's going to replace your paper currency. Not overnight, but it's moving in that direction. And it will move the United States to a cashless society, a surveillance state where every transaction will be tracked and cataloged, where, as the Fed describes it, money that's in your account can even expire and become unusable. That's right, just like that Red Lobster gift card that you never used. One day you go and try to buy some popcorn shrimp and some Cheddar Bay biscuits, and the gift card doesn't even work anymore. Gone. You can read how the Fed plans to use.
And that's what made me furious.
That's pure bullshit.
That's what made me extremely furious, because that cashless digital money that he explains is people's hard-earned savings, and they're going to put an expiration date on people's hard-earned money that they work for. And so, in other words, they're going to force people to spend all of their saved money before it expires, which means people will not have a savings anymore, because it'll be like a gift card with an expiration
That's
date.
insane. I don't believe that's ever going to happen.
Are you kidding? It'll be like a revolution.
Use
Yes.
money right on the Fed's website. China's already doing it. We already have a template for it. And many U.S. government museums, national parks, historical sites are no longer accepting paper dollars. Many of you have emailed me about this. You've tried to go and actually use dollars at different locations. Sorry, we don't accept cash. Want to go visit the Wright Brothers Museum? Don't bring cash. You'll have to use digital currency. Want to go to Smithsonian? Sorry, no cash. How about Mount Rainier National Park? Sorry, no cash allowed. We only accept digital. And many American businesses have already gone cashless as well. They'll pretend it's all about convenience, but really, it's all about control. The brilliant Catherine Austin Fitts recently described what going cashless would do to all of us.
The reality, as the financial system gets more controlling and more invasive, it's a little bit like bringing up a corral around us. And CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and vaccine passports or digital IDs are sort of the last shutting of the gate. It's hard for many people to imagine the risks here because we're so used to living with financial transaction freedom. And we don't understand that when this gate closes on us, we literally will be sitting in a system where the central banks believe that our assets belong to them and they can dictate where we can spend money and what we can spend money on.
It's frightening, and she's 100% correct. But that's only part of the story. And perhaps
Fox News. Yeah,
part of the story,
okay.
if you can believe that. Now to the elephant in the room and the larger reasons we're seeing the decline of the US dollar. But first, I decided to go sophisticated for today's video. I could have kept it super simple, but instead we need to talk about some specific details. And you are a very smart audience that will watch this video until the end. So we're going to go sophisticated today, okay? Let's do it. And for that, let me tell you a story. Let me start here. Back in 2014, the country of Russia annexed the territory of Crimea. We're not going to get into why they did it. You're a smart audience. You probably already know why they did it. But what we're going to do is look at what happened next. Now, the United States and Western allies then slapped massive sanctions on Russia. Then the value of the Russian ruble went down. But then something remarkable started to happen. And this is perhaps the beginning of the end of the US dollar. You can pinpoint the moment. Here's what happened. As the ruble started to decline, Russia was then forced to ramp up production of just about everything that they produce, from oil to lithium to silver to uranium, for nuclear fuel, natural gas. They kicked everything into high gear, became self-sufficient, became the dominant exporter of many of these minerals in every category. Want uranium for your nuclear reactors? You're probably going to be buying it from Russia. In fact, the United States currently buys almost all of its uranium from Russia. Isn't that funny? They did this because their ruble was going down. They needed to produce more oil in order to sell more oil to compensate for the lower prices that it was receiving in US dollars, while the United States was destroying its own manufacturing base under President Obama.
For those folks who've lost their job right now.
Oh, okay, I see what this guy's
This
doing.
is like right-wing Fox News shit he spun.
Yeah, so he right away the blame is put on Obama, or the blame is put on the Biden administration.
Fox News. Anytime someone quotes Fox News, you know you're in trouble. It's a slanted board.
And then he,
You know,
and then he
Fox
mentioned-
News, it doesn't mind lying. They said so.
and they
under oath.
mentioned the government will be in control of your finances and your spending patterns and the government, because the first thing that the right wing does is they blame everything on the government. Government is bad. Big government is worse. You know, everything is government. They don't say anything about corporate CEOs.
No, they don't. Yeah, it's always the government's controlling your life through what the subliminal messages the corporations are using. No,
I mean, I don't think that the asses of the masses are going to tolerate their hard-earned money expiring.
no, there'll be riots.
So, that means that if you had a pretty good career for, let's say, 20 years, according to that guy, all your hard-earned saved money will have expiration dates on it.
Insane.
Yeah, I just don't think that's gonna fly.
Oh, one quick subject I wanted to go over was, I'm single. I'm doing internet dating, and I'm finding someone's profile will say something, and then you talk to them, and they'll say something completely different and say, "Oh, that the profile's wrong," and I haven't been able to change it. I think it's the site. I really think it's the individual, and I think that they're I don't know, frankly lying. I don't know what for.
Without a doubt.
The age changes. The astrological sign is different. Oh, they do that to so many people. My profile hasn't changed. I don't know. That just has to show you people are a lot more dishonest nowadays.
Well, that is a pattern, unfortunately, that has been progressively getting worse. Lying, and people will be believing their own lies.
Fake pictures.
Fake pictures. I mean, you have to watch for red flags. Now, if you have a person on an online dating app that has a photo that is not a close-up, crystal clear, high definition photo, don't believe that's them. If it's an old photo where they're where it's a little blurry or they're far away and you can't make out the detail of them, or they only show the photo only shows them from the chin to the top of their head, that means they're obese, and they refuse to do video chatting with you.
Yeah.
Big red flag.
Yes.
They could be, number one, a scammer. Number two, they have something to hide.
Exactly. And I'm just tired of bullshit in the world. So many things are hard enough as it is. Why do we have to have people running interference in our personal lives, in our online lives? I mean, I don't get it, man.
No, I don't. I don't get it either. It's now getting back to Facebook. Now they're very hypocritical if they're allowing
Phallic symbols,
phallic.
drawings of penises. Yeah, to advertise a drug that's going to make your dick bigger. Okay, buckwheat, can I get the X-ray glasses too while we're at it?
Yeah, and but you post or say something that doesn't even come close to that banner, and you're in timeout for a week.
Well, the weird thing is these things where they won't let you post in groups that aren't your own. I don't know what that punishment is really about.
Yeah, what's that
Oh,
about?
okay, I got my own groups. I guess I'll post in there. What is it? I posted in a group and someone was offended? Is that what it was? They never tell you. You don't know.
It's
And
not. Yeah.
they keep wanting you to do a security check, and they were going to send you a login code. I haven't received a login code on my phone in like 2 years from Facebook.
Oh,
It doesn't work. It's broken.
They started doing that with me. They started logging me out of my app, and they started asking me, do I want to update my phone number? And I say no, my phone number is the same.
Yeah, go over your stuff, and it's always the same. Oh, someone may have tried to access your account. Like who? Facebook?
Yeah, and the login code thing never works for me either.
It worked initially, and now it's totally broken.
It is run by so much incompetence because Zuckerberg is just as sleazy as and underhanded as they come. He is a sleazy piece of shit. I mean, and he enjoys. I think he enjoys pushing everybody's buttons and making life difficult for everyone who has a Facebook account. He loves to agitate people because when I was in school, we had geeks like him, and they got on everyone's nerves, and they
got their asses kicked too.
Yeah, they got bitch slapped and worse, and they deliberately try to agitate everyone, and they're fucking geeks, man. They know they're geeks and dorks. They know they have no masculinity whatsoever. They know they never will have any masculinity. They'll always be a dork and a geek. And yes, a pencil neck geek also. And I guess it's their way of getting attention, but they piss off a lot of people. Now, when people used to make fun of the fact that I still had a MySpace account, I told them, first of all, Facebook profiles look boring. Everything is like light blue and white. I says I'm able to custom design my MySpace profile to make it anything I want. Anything I want. I could literally custom design it like a website, and
That's nice.
and it allowed me to do that. So why is everybody like saying, "Oh, get rid of the MySpace is old, it's old, outdated crap. You got to be on Facebook. Got to be on Facebook." You know,
Exactly.
because of the smartphones. Back then, it was like the BlackBerry. You know,
Exactly.
they were one of the first. You know, but I had no problem with MySpace. When I say I could design it like a web page, I'm serious. I was able to. And when I first joined Facebook, did you know that the Facebook pages were available to be viewed by
In a feed.
no, even people that didn't have a Facebook account, they were able to see the page like it was a website. Like they were able to go to progressive discussions. Like I mean, like back in 2012, they were able to go to progressive discussions and scroll down and see the whole thing.
Yeah, the Facebook's changing, not for the better. We've known that for years.
Yeah, not for the better, and that's why other social media companies are burying Facebook. TikTok is exploding. Oh, hold on. Jason Cleveland, greetings, good evening. Hello, James. Sorry I couldn't be on the show tonight. The auditors had pulled some items for secondary review, and we have to have our files turned into them tomorrow. So working late tonight. Oh wow, you
Oh,
working
bummer,
late?
man.
Oh shit, this was a sperm of the moment thing.
God damn.
Those people are wastes of sperm. Let me tell you.
Yes, the old way you waste of sperm.
Yeah, Mario petrified cack.
Yes, cack. That petrified cack of his.
The guy that stabbed me in the back, and then I turned around and I threw him out of everything as food.
Yeah, he's a schmuck and a half.
I even blocked him from calling me. I told Salvatore Mercurio, because that's one of his buddies. I says I want absolutely nothing to do with him. He's persona non grata.
Yeah, he's a piece of work.
I
had very little dealings with him, and I knew he was a schmuck and a half.
Yeah, well, he got banned from the Whole Foods over here. He used to bring his clients to go shopping for organic foods at Whole Foods, and what happened was he tried to hit on this girl whose boyfriend was in the men's room, and he was bothering her, and then she told him, and then he said something to Mario, and Mario says, if you don't keep quiet, I'm gonna smack you right across the face. I'm gonna smack you around.
Oh God!
And it turned out the guy was he was a cop that was off duty.
Good. It couldn't happen to a bigger asshole.
So he went to the store manager and he got banned for good. And that,
good.
Oh, now he's got to go to another Whole Foods that's a little bit out of
the way.
Yeah.
Poor little bitch.
I'll smack you around. That bitch smack you around. I'll give you the back of my hand. Hey,
you waste of sperm.
You waste of sperm. Hey, the guy's boyfriend and girlfriend. They can't shop in peace without having him.
Yeah, lord over him and tell him what to do.
Yeah, he was like oogling her and undressing her with his eyes and all that jazz.
That's classless.
Yeah, well, he is classless.
If you do that kind of thing, you do it in your mind and you do it privately and don't say anything to anyone.
And
That's
just
how
like
you.
just like Jerry Seinfeld said, if you look at cleavage, you got to look away. You don't stare.
Yeah, you take a look and then you look away.
He says it's like looking at the sun. You don't stare at it.
Exactly.
I mean, yes, the girls are teased. They dress that way. We all know that, but
And then they get mad that you're looking,
yeah, they want attention. They
but they
buy.
get mad if you look.
Yeah, they'll go to a store like Forever 21 and they'll get hoochie clothes, but then when they go out with the hoochie clothes, if they get the attention, that they're looking for, they get mad that guys are like hitting on them and staring at
Staring
them.
at them, yeah.
I mean, it goes with the territory. Not everybody that she wants is going to give her attention. There's going to be a lot of people that she doesn't like that will stare at her and give her attention.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. And these mothers, I had a big argument on Progressive Discussions Facebook page with these single mothers that got mad at me because I said that if you let your young daughters go to school dressed like a hoochie, they're only asking for trouble. I don't see anything good coming out of it.
Yeah, 12-year-old or something.
Yeah, I don't see anything positive coming out of it. They're asking for trouble. And then they started saying, you're criticizing me as a parent, and you're a misogynist, you hate women,
No, you.
yeah, so they play right away the misogynist card, the gender card. Now, people of Chicago, oh God, well, I don't know, man. The people of Chicago have spoken by electing a very progressive mayor, Brandon Johnson, who Bernie supported.
I hate to tell you, he wanted to defund the police, and he owes the city of Chicago thousands of dollars in unpaid fines and penalties. Yeah, he's not quite the guy you think he is. I'm sorry to tell you.
And the other guy was Vallis. What's his whole name?
Paul Vallis.
Paul Vallis is the person that Mick preferred that didn't get in.
Well, because he was going to take care of the crime, number one, and he wasn't about defunding the police. And that's the last thing you need to do in a high crime city like Chicago is defund the police. You need more police presence, you need stronger police, you need better police training so there's not unnecessary shootings. Police shootings when they shoot somebody 14 times. It's not a good day in Chicago. It's Lightfoot extending a bad. She was a bad mayor. This guy's, I predict, is going to be possibly worse than her. We don't know yet, but on paper he was saying things that no one agreed with. So I think it was a low voter turnout. That's how he got elected.
Yeah,
So
it's like the cops just turning over their weapons to the criminals and saying, "Here, the city's yours."
exactly. So I don't know. And as far as my concern, I don't agree with that. That his victory is not going to be a good thing for Chicago. I don't think so. I know
I
people that live in the city and they're frightened. I've had people send me messages on Facebook saying "R.I.P. Chicago" now that he's been elected.
every time New York City had a Democrat mayor, I hate to say it, but crime skyrocketed
Wow.
because they have let's
They're
put this,
lenient on crime.
it's just like when David Dinkins, who a black mayor, used to be mayor of New York City. He had this he had this approach where, don't hassle the brothers. So,
When they're committing their crimes, you mean?
well, everything from like there was a big problem back then with aggressive panhandlers. The tourists would be in where you were, Times Square, 42nd Street, where the big ball comes down on New Year's Eve, and the tourists are there. And then you had, all the peep shows and massage parlors and everything at that time. So what happened was there were these aggressive panhandlers that were perfectly healthy young black men that were aggressively asking people for money. Like give me $5, give me $20, give me this. Give me gimmies.
Yeah, they get paid. They get trained and paid to learn how to beg like that. It's just there's a whole industry.
They
about-
were doing that in Atlantic City, and the motherfucker was like right outside of the Tropicana, near the boardwalk, and I was with my buddy, because we had free comps. We stood overnight and ate for free and drank for free and all that. So he's a retired county cop. So the guy, he was drinking, I think, a Snapple or something. And he says, give me that. Get me one. Go buy me one. And he was going to fuck him up, man. He had, Jimmy had this rechargeable cattle prod. It's like,
holy shit.
When you press the button, you see like a blue lightning bolt going on the tip, going zzz, and if you don't even have to hit somebody. If you just touch them, you'll knock them out from the high voltage.
Wow.
Yeah, I said, that thing is beautiful, man. He said, yeah, and he used to keep it charged in his car.
Did he have to use it on this guy or with the Snapple request?
No. The guy backed off. One time,
as soon as he saw it.
Yeah, one time, because he manages this high class go-go bar, gentlemen's club they call it. So the place is called Platinum Dolls. So he had trouble. They're not gentlemen that go to the gentlemen's club.
No, they're not. They're rogues.
He had a problem, not with the older guys that come in with a lot of money. He had the problem with the punks. So I think the punk didn't want to finish his drink inside. He wanted to go outside and finish his drink outside.
Can't do that.
No, you can't do that. So the guy was, giving Jimmy a hard time. So he had the cattle prod, and he stuck it right in the guy's crotch, right in his balls. He electrified his balls.
He lit him up, eh?
He lit him up. What a beautiful weapon to have. You don't even have to hit anybody with it.
Just a quick jolt.
And then he had something called the slapjack. It looked like a beaver tail, black leather with a leather handle, and instead of being like a black jack, it was a slapjack. It was flat. And it was lead. It was lead inside.
Yeah, they had a lot of things like that back in the day in the 30s. Hit him with the blackjack and
the
brass knuckles.
But the slapjack would knock you out, but it wouldn't like lacerate the person,
Ah, gotcha.
Because it was shaped like a beaver tail. It was flat, but there was lead inside, and it went like this. It waved. So he had a slapjack. He slapjacked this other guy to try to hit him with a chair in the bar.
Oh man. This friend of yours sounds like a badass.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, he was a bad. He's like a dirty Harry Callahan. You know, like Clint Eastwood when he played that cop, Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Oh, who was that? Who told the story? Oh, I saw this video. I posted it. Burt Reynolds, when he was younger and alive, said that he was with Clint Eastwood. He witnessed him going Dirty Harry on somebody. There was this woman in a bar.
Yeah.
She took her drink and poured it over his head.
Over Clint's head?
Clint's head. And Clint went and took all the drinks that all the guys around there had and poured every one over her head, and then tossed her out of the bar
Wow.
and paid a cab driver to take her home. Yeah,
Sounds like a real bad time.
yeah. I mean, Jimmy did that to with this girl when he was managing this Irish pub that had they had cover rock bands on the weekends. Pub 46 because it was the highways
On the weekends?
Yeah, yeah. So it was nice, you know. You always get good value in Irish pub. The food was good. You know, a lot of grilled food, and
That's
and
fine.
and the beer and the drinks were reasonable. So anyway, the girl again didn't didn't want to finish her beer inside. It was closing time. She wanted to go outside with it. So he took her beer and he just poured it right over her head. And she was like in shock that he would do that to a girl. To a girl.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he told her so many times. You can't take the beer outside. Finish it up inside. You can't
They
take
could lose their liquor license if people are drinking outside of the taverns.
Yeah, because guess what happens when it's closing time? The cops come by to make sure they're closing.
Exactly.
That's what happens. That's why they turn all the lights on. Says everybody got to go. Let's go. Drink them up. Drink
You
them
don't
up.
have to go home, but you can't stay here. That's when you find the 4 o'clock bar. Yeah, I'm glad those days are gone. I don't do anything close to that.
You know
I'm not.
what my 4 o'clock bar was? It was called White Castle.
Yeah, the fourth meal when your body could handle it. You eat in the middle of the night and it didn't affect you. Now it's like putting a brick in the oven.
I would
You
get
wake up lethargic and kind of slow from the extra meal.
I would get uh, four. Let's see. I would get four of the bacon cheeseburgers, the White Castle special bacon cheeseburgers.
Nice.
I would get three of the fried codfish nuggets.
Nice.
Okay. Then I would get also three of the fried clams because they don't advertise, but they do have fried clams, lightly fried. Otherwise, it's like dry, like rubbery. And then I would get a large sweet potato French fry.
Wow.
Right. And then I would get a jumbo milkshake because I thought their milkshakes were very creamy, very rich.
Gotcha.
And I would ask the lady, could you please mix chocolate and vanilla? And she says, oh, you want a little jungle fever there? You want a little jungle boogie? Remember that song, Jungle Boogie? So anyway,
I remember Jungle Love by Steve Miller.
Jungle Love is driving me mad.
Jungle Love's driving me mad. It drives me mad too, man.
Driving me crazy.
Crazy. Well, you know what I would get at Whitey's? I would get a double and have them remove the middle bread. And I would get also. I like they had a good chicken sandwich there. But we used to go get burritos on in a dangerous part of Chicago at like 2 a.m, and they'd be calling us pendejos, and we'd be like, we knew what they were saying, but we knew better than getting involved.
You know,
Ashland Avenue, we'd get these killer steak burritos at 2 or 3 a.m.
You know, one time I had the breakfast sandwiches at White Castle. They were actually pretty good.
The best one they have is the waffle one. That is the best one. They have a waffle
Yeah,
breakfast sandwich.
I never had it, where it was like an egg and sausage patty inside it.
Yes, it was delicious. Trust me, it's the best one. And then they closed the White Castle by me. I was kind of depressed.
I would be depressed too if there was a White Castle near you and you didn't have to go far. I would really be bummed out.
Yeah, now the nearest one is twice as far, so I don't even go anymore.
Yeah, they haven't advertised in years. They don't have strawberry shakes for some reason, but they have not advertised in years. Oh, I forgot. They also had later on. They started making barbecued pulled pork sandwiches
Yes, they did.
at the White Castle. Woo! I guarantee.
Cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper. That was Justin Wilson.
Yeah.
Justin Wilson said, people say, "Hey Justin, how come you always use olive oil?" He says, "I use this olive oil because I like olive oil."
They said that he faked that accent. He hammed it up for television.
Yeah.
You know that, right? Yeah.
He was trying to say olive oil, but yeah,
Yes.
I heard he hammed it up.
Exactly.
Olive oil. I know a couple people in southern Louisiana, and that's a hopping part of the country.
For food and music.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cajun, they got some good Cajun bluesmen too.
Food, music, fun, frolic, and it became very multi-ethnic. In other
I
words,
heard Beaumont, Texas, I heard is a pretty cool place. It's right near the Louisiana border. Hey, what's up, Ronnie?
Ronnie, yes, greetings, Earthlings, greetings. Earthlings are wondering why so many aliens are taking vested interests in the vile creature known as Homo sapien, humanoids. A very vile species that kills for pleasure,
Not to eat, just to kill.
not to eat. Now, there's so many. Speaking of pulled pork, there's so many in this America's South is infested with wild boar and wild hogs.
They made them from those ones from Canada came down to the U.S.
Yeah, they're supposed to be smart.
They're super hogs, yeah, and they're not easy to kill. There some asshole in Canada bred a wild pig and a regular feral pig and made a super pig, and it's not good.
Well,
They're talking about getting a homing device on them so they can find out where they're nesting. That's the only way they're going to get them. They said in Canada they burrowed under the snow and survived.
Yeah, but
the winters.
You know how they can find them? They see steam coming up from the snow.
Exactly. So they got to eradicate these invaders.
They look all these rednecks with their AR-15s and their hunting rifles. Why don't they just? I know that in Louisiana, in Texas, or no, yeah, Louisiana, Texas, they charge people, hunters, a lot of money to go up in a helicopter and shoot the boar and the hogs from a helicopter.
Wow, how unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, why don't they just get a pack of hound dogs and just, when the dogs run, they get the scent and they're all barking, and you ever see them when they chase the cougar up the tree?
Yeah.
I mean, just shoot them. Look, that's all fresh meat for the homeless, for the soup kitchens, the poor, and restaurants.
Well, those pigs are supposed to be ginormous, so yeah, they're going to feed a lot of people.
That's a lot of meat. I mean, pig roast. I mean, I've been to pig
I
roast.
love pig roasts. They're awesome. I haven't been to one in years. The industry I'm in, they used to have one. They had a guy. He would come in the morning and it'd take all day and just roast that pig right there, a fresh pig,
Yep.
right in their parking lot. He had those barrels. They cut them in half. You know, the big I wouldn't say oil barrels, but a big barrel. You take it, you cut it in half, and you make it into a grill. And you know that's how they would grill them in these giant barrels.
It was.
Oh,
Was it smoked or rotisserie?
I think it was rotisserie, possibly. Oh, Ronnie had said he came back from a nice holy mass Holy Thursday mass. Yeah, with Easter right on the horizon.
Well, tomorrow, next door,
Good Friday.
Good
Yeah.
Friday mass, I hear, is real long because they do a reenactment of well,
Stations of the Cross.
Good Friday is the last supper. No, he doesn't get crucified on Good Friday. I think Friday is the Last Supper, but they do
Yes.
like a reenactment. But you know what? It's long, and I don't feel like,
Arduous.
how you got to stand up and you got to sit down again. Then you
Yeah.
gotta stand up, then you got to sit down again, up and down, up and down. I get so comfortable that I
Yeah.
take
You
a
don't
little.
want to do that.
No, I
Yeah.
take a little nap sitting down. I don't want to stand up 1,000 times.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, and then now they're passing the basket twice. I mean, once is enough. Holy
Twice.
Thursday is the Last Supper. All right. So what's Good Friday then? The crucifixion. If I didn't even know there was a Holy Thursday. So
I know about Holy Saturday night.
Saturday Night Fever.
Holy Saturday Night Fever, of
Holy
course.
Saturday Night. Jukebox Saturday Night. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that the Last Supper was Holy Thursday. I think Ronnie's got to fill me in on Good Friday was the suffering and the crucifixion. Oh, see, I'm learning something. All right,
Very, very nice.
I'm learning something here. Yeah, I put the air conditioner on today because it was 75 degrees.
Wow. That's not spring weather. That's summer weather.
Only today, though. Only for today.
Yeah, I wanted to put it on at work, but we have such a turmoil. People start yelling, and women want the heat on when it's like 80 out sometimes.
They're out of their minds. They're fucking normal.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
I'll be honest with you. Offices, especially where it is with all those computers, offices, just like hospitals, are usually freezing. And if they're freezing in the office, all they have to do is bring a sweater and keep it on their chair. Or get one of those fleece, what the fuck you call it? It's like a cross between a shirt and a jacket. It's got fleece in it inside.
Yes.
Yeah, I got 2 of them. They're great. And just keep that on your chair.
Exactly.
Instead of complaining, the free bus that took us to the other market, he put the air conditioning on because it was like real stuffy. The economy under Joe Biden is the strongest economy ever under any president. 4 more years, 4 more years. Well, if he starts making good on all the promises he made to Bernie Sanders to get his people to vote for him, I'll be happy. He's got some executive orders to sign. He's got, I don't know, what's taking him so long. I hate to procrastinate. I like to sink my teeth into everything and get it done. Just get it done. Expunge the student loan. Stack the Supreme Court with progressive justices. Close all those military bases in all these first world countries. They don't want the United States occupation there. Get them all home.
Exactly.
Go back to the gold back currency, like Ronnie always says. Do it, man. Do it.
We got a message from Jason.
The Inflation Reduction Act is lowering the cost of everything, making everyday life more affordable. Well, not for eggs. Eggs are still, they're down a little bit. It's like $4.50 for a dozen jumbo eggs by me. I don't like that. I used to get it for like a little over $3, and I would have 4 eggs in one sitting.
Nice.
That's what real leadership looks like. Hey, I want, like Frank Barone says, Marie, eggs. Where's my eggs?
Yeah, we want that legalized marijuana, and we want the Supreme Court stacked, and we want student loans expunged.
You see, Democrats have to give up the idea of trying to make friends with Republicans. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? It's not going to happen. You can't negotiate and reason with the enemy, with evil.
Let's be friends.
Why
Let's be friends. Homo, you don't.
Why can't we be friends?
That was when we used to say in school. Let's be friends. Homo, you don't.
Let's be friends. What does he
say?
Let's be friends.
$8.99 for a dozen eggs in Seattle. Holy shit!
Holy shit! That is a lot. That's almost $10 for a dozen eggs.
That's insane. Insane in the membrane.
Insane in a membrane. Insane to the brain.
Yes.
Look what Ronnie's saying. Look at the capitalists. Ronnie Guess is saying. That's a good price, Jason.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. I'm bitching about $4 or $5 and $4.50, and you're saying it's a good price. Marijuana is legal in Washington State. Yes, Oregon too. The second state.
It's legal in Chicago, but we need it legal federally.
Well, New Jersey also, but we need it federally.
Federal should have passed it already.
The second state to legalize it for sale and use for everyone over 21 years of age. Yes, just like the legal
Colorado.
Yeah, just like the legal drinking age.
California legalized weed. Chicago has. Yeah. California has legalized weed.
My ex used to go from San Diego over the border to Tijuana and get those dark chocolates that are loaded with
THC.
Yeah. And she used to eat those instead of getting a prescription for tranquilizers, and they worked.
Nice.
Why do you gotta be 21 to smoke weed? Because you know what?
It's a controlled substance.
Listen, Ronnie brought up a very good point. And I'll tell you what.
I smoked all my weed when I was a teenager, so yeah, I didn't follow the laws. There wasn't any.
Listen up. In the United States, Ronnie, I hope you listen. Jason, I hope you listen. In the United States, you can get your working papers when you're like 16 years old, right? In the United States, you get your driver's license at 17. Okay. In the United States, you can join or get drafted if there's a draft into the military to die in a war at 18 years old, and you can vote at 18. But you have to wait until you're 21 years old to purchase an alcoholic beverage. Come on, and smoke weed. Something's wrong with that picture. What do you think, gentlemen?
It does not make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Why? I mean, just listen. If you're an adult at 18, that's it. Across the board, alcoholic beverages, weed, cigarettes, military,
Even driving should be at 18, I think.
driving. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with some senior in high school on the highway
No,
or driving.
exactly.
You should see how fast they go on a residential street. But they did something smart over here. One of the best inventions, I think, by civil engineers is the high speed bump.
Oh, though I hate driving over those.
Well,
They'll slow you down.
you got to slow down.
Yeah,
I'm talking about people that are going fast where there's
they're going
children,
40 and a 20. Yeah,
there could be children playing, children at play, just like us. What's this?
there's a cool song by Metal Church called "Watch the Children Pray." That's a
Yeah.
cool tune.
Leave us kids alone? Oh, that's yeah.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of that, they identified another Gacy victim recently. Thank God, with the DNA. For his family's closure. I mean, thank God for that. Sad stuff. I think Gacy still is the biggest serial killer, isn't he? I don't think Dahmer passed him. I don't know.
Is he the one? Is he the one that like dressed up like a clown so he can
Yes,
attract them?
There was an underlying thought that he was doing snuff films, homosexual snuff films, which just grim stuff. Let me pull out of that and stop talking about that. It's not. I'm just saying. I'm glad that they identified the remains of a young man and his family knows about it.
God rest his
Exactly.
soul. Oh, Ronnie S. Jason Cleveland says, Ronnie S., I think it's because it's an intoxicant like alcohol and thus has the same laws in place.
You can get a weed DUI, so I'd never try to get high and drive anymore. I used to when I was younger, but now they can give you a DUI just for that, and it's not worth it.
Yeah, see, Ronnie made a very good point. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't make sense. Working papers, 16. Driver's license, 17. Die in a war and vote at 18. But you can't smoke weed or drink alcohol until you're 21. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Me neither.
The Green River killer out of Washington State killed 48 people. Holy shit.
So I don't remember how many Gacy killed.
I think the only famous damn. Jeez. That's why, you can't. That's why kids have to be. The kids need curfews, definitely. I mean, and they need parental. They need to be chaperoned by an adult, and they need to be picked up at school by a guardian.
We were never picked up. We walked all the time back when it was safe.
Kidding me? I walked all the time, and I also went trick or treating without an adult with me.
Exactly.
Then I remember the one Halloween when it was in the news that someone put razor blades inside of an apple,
Well, I wouldn't eat apples when I was a kid. I'd give those away. I wanted
candy,
candy.
and candy bars. Like they found razor blades in some, I don't know if it was Three Musketeers or Snickers or what. I forgot, but there was somebody who started with the razor blades
That's pure evil right there.
and maybe poison. Yeah, it is. It is. And those people should die a slow death. They should suffer. I'm sorry. That would
Hmm.
hurt children. The U.S. government is the biggest serial killer of all. Yeah, well, the perpetual wars, the wars that don't end, the wars for profit.
Korea, Vietnam, uh, yeah, and all those wars under Bush Jr., that POS.
Shoot.
It's amazing how, I don't know. I don't want to get off on a tangent because
Yeah, and
when you
that
think about it, it makes me angry.
no weapons of mass destruction ever.
None. It was a fallacy. It was just a reason to go to war. And
Yeah,
look, I hold him personally responsible for creating ISIS. ISIS wouldn't have existed if we didn't go through that war. You okay, Jimmy? You take too big of a gulp there?
I did. Yeah, when GW the the best thing that ever happened during his presidency is when that Iraqi was throwing his shoes at him, both his shoes, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry he missed.
I never watched that war on TV. People are like, it's so cool. You can watch it. And I'm like, I didn't agree with the war. I certainly didn't want to watch it myself personally.
There, I mean, like we said at the beginning of the show, all of the 9/11 culprits were Saudis.
Yeah.
Ronnie knows that.
Oh God, fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl, whoever made that fentanyl should be destroyed immediately and never. All the people that are famous drug addicts are all now dying because there's fentanyl laced. That one actor that did The Wire, I forget his name. He fentanyl in his heroin. Singer of Power Trip, fentanyl killed him. Prince, fentanyl is evil and should be thrown in the garbage.
Oh, that's what Prince died of.
Oh yeah, Truman did. Yeah, that's the only way the Japanese would stop dropping those bombs.
Well,
And
what I
now
would have done instead of, I'm really against hurting
nuclear.
innocent. Well, I'm against hurting innocent civilians
Oh, they
because
killed tons of civilians in that. Yes.
it's the wicked government that is to blame, not men, women, and not women and children and old people. Not
Yeah, that was evil stuff.
Truman. What I would have done was massive embargo. Don't allow anything to leave Japan waters or enter. No cargo, no shipment, no cargoes, ships. I mean, just cut off their supplies by having the U.S. Navy surround Japan, and that's it. I wouldn't have dropped atomic bombs on these poor souls. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was against humanity what he did.
ISIS, yeah. Well, Al Qaeda was around during G.W. Bush, and then ISIS was born from out of the Iraq War, and it never would have come about without Iraq War 2. Yeah, there was Desert Shield, and then Desert Storm, right? Desert Shield was Herbert Walker Bush, right? But then Obama and John Kerry did their part also.
In what way? Not with those wars or ISIS.
Yeah, well, the Republican of Arizona there, John McCain, was getting chummy with ISIS, right? The sale of weapons. One of the bombs was dropped next to a church that was in session.
A
Oh,
church, a bar,
no, bombs. One of the,
I know I said a church, a bar, wherever people are. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not as religious as Jason, so I don't believe you have a sacred thing when you're in church. I've seen too much crime done at churches myself.
well, the main thing is innocent civilians, their children, their
Yeah.
mothers, grandparents. It's whether the church in session was right next to the bomb being dropped or 50 feet away. It's still total annihilation, and I don't know what was going through Harry Truman's head.
He wanted to end the war. He ended the war with Japan. They immediately surrendered after that. Enola Gay, wasn't that the name of the plane that dropped the bomb?
Yeah, it was Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah, didn't Russia drop a bomb on a hospital recently? Yeah, they did. In
Oh yeah,
Ukraine. Yeah, they love to bomb. Yeah, Putin loves to bomb hospitals.
he's doing that for the terroristic effect. He's attacking civilians in Ukraine for the for the sake of terrorism.
I read a pro Putin guy was bombed to death. Did you see that one? A blogger that was pro government, pro Putin. Someone blew him up
Where was he living?
in Russia.
Oh,
Well, I just got a blurb about an announcement at a concert. A reminder. Well, it's at a place where the roof collapsed, so I don't think it's going to happen. The Apollo Theater, it collapsed last week under a heavy storm. So
jeez.
it's a reminder.
You have an Apollo Theater also in Chicago?
In Belvedere, it's a suburb. It's yeah, I've never been there.
Yeah. Well, now Gary, Indiana is a suburb of Chicago, but that's a shithole. Right?
Well, I wouldn't call that. That's not it. That's not in Illinois.
No.
Yeah. It used to be a thriving steel community. Once that left, it left behind a real bad ghetto. Yeah, whenever business leaves, just like in Detroit when the plants close down, yeah, nothing replaces it,
Yeah.
and it becomes a shell. Yeah, you don't want to. No one vacations to Gary, Indiana. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think Dearborn was Michigan was where the General Motors, probably Ford, Chrysler, right? That was the initial.
Yeah,
That was the first assembly.
Dearborn was right near Detroit.
Yeah. Now Dearborn today is a very large Middle Eastern community. It's quite large. That's Dearborn, Michigan. Why they chose that area? Who knows? I don't know.
I don't
Nancy
know.
Pelosi. I don't know. I don't know everything she's done. All I know is she's very annoying because for years all she kept saying is bipartisan, bipartisanship, bipartisan. You know what? Fuck bipartisan. You fight. This is a class war and a spiritual war against the forces of evil, which is capitalism. Obama and Kerry, along with McCain, built ISIS up in Syria starting in 2011, but the destabilization of Iraq predicted it. Yeah, well, um, predicated it. Predicated.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, um, yeah, they were they were pretty bad in Iraq. The the people ruling Iraq, including his sons, they did
Oh,
a
his
lot of,
sons. Some of them are still alive, aren't they?
yeah, they did
His
horrible
sons.
things.
Yeah.
They would, like I heard, the son, like this, was interested in this woman, but she was a married woman, and he had the husband killed so he could make a play for her.
Yeah, it's nasty stuff, man.
Trans lives matter. Biden is doing more for the 2SLLGBBBTDQIA community than anyone before him. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well,
But
the problem they're finding now is many children get older, they regret doing the trans things to themselves and want to go back to who they were.
I want to go back to my little grass shack in Hawaii.
No kazoo?
That's my
No.
ukulele.
Oh, okay.
I got
okay. All right, euchre.
Bob Euchre.
Yeah, the ukulele, euchre.
I got the kazoo. Community. What was I gonna say? Yeah, but you know what I don't like? I don't like when they have parades, Halloween parade, and the gay pride parade, and they're in public in the street with their ass cheeks hanging out, and kids could,
No thanks.
young people could see this, and I mean, I wouldn't want my kids seeing that filth.
Yeah, it's kind of they want to recruit, some of these people.
He was a brutal man. You know what he used to say when people would cheer him? He used to say, he told a journalist, he says everybody is cheering very loudly for it. He says, what can I say? They all love me.
Well, megalomania does that to people. They
Yeah.
feared him.
You fear him. Yeah. Does that mean the U.S. should invade Iraq and destabilize an entire region? Saddam was a brutal man, and his sons were too. Yeah, they were brutal, but they
Here's the
weren't.
thing: they created something even worse than them by doing that.
They were not behind 9/11. It was their buddies, the Saudis. The beer whisperer. Oh yeah, Tom Mulvihill. He's turning into quite the booze hound. Well, because he is. Yes. Now don't leave a serious show, Ronnie S, to join booze hounds anymore.
Petulance for alcohol is not a good thing.
Don't sneak out. Don't sneak out of one of my extremely talented, educational, and deep shows to go join a booze hound show with people that are like talking like
Look
that.
at me, I'm a drooling idiot.
Yeah, I'm a drooling idiot. Yeah. I'm gonna join that whispering guy. Do you know I did a show with the beer whisperer Tom Mulvihill a long time ago, more than several years ago, probably close to 10 years. And he did the show. He came on the show naked.
Yeah.
But he didn't show the bottom part of his body.
Luckily.
And he was fatter back then. He was obese, very obese. It's still on YouTube. That show and for comedy's sake, I just let it ride. I just let it ride. That's how drunk he was.
I'll take a pass.
Does he whisper about beer? No, Ronnie, he does not whisper about alcoholic beverages. He never whispers. Oh, you probably what time you going to bed? You working tomorrow, Mick?
No, but I'm getting ready to sign off soon. We're going on 2 hours now.
You're getting sleepy. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm running out of my free time as a free
Yeah.
member.
I think I'm going to sign off, James.
I get recharged. I get my hours recharged on the 12th of every month. So
Cool.
next Wednesday it'll come just in the nick of time, or just in the mick of time.
All right.
I'll be charged with another month's worth of hours, and I think I know why I used up a lot of hours. It's between the Red Pill show.
Excuse me.
It's between the Red Pill show and
Right.
and progressive discussions.
Excuse me.
But Michael Labar didn't show up. I hate to say it. Some people are either really shy about going with the video camera, with the webcam in public, and letting the whole universe see them. They're either really shy about that, or some people feel they have the perfect face for radio.
Well,
so
anyways, have a happy Easter, everyone.
Yes, I'll be by my sister's. She's making
I'm going to my brother's. We already bought a small chunk of ham at Aldi that's pre-sliced, a Black Forest ham.
Black Forest.
And
Yep. My sister's making a smoked ham and trays of homemade manicotti.
no, that sounds delicious. Enjoy.
That's what's going to be. Not the lasagna this time. This time it's going to be manicotti. So anyway, I'll be over there. No Sunday show, and then next week I'll be back in action.
All right. Cheers. Good night, everybody. All right. Bye-bye.
Good night, Mick. Thank you for coming.
No problem, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Does he whisper about beer? No. He doesn't whisper about anything. I don't even know why the original dog whisperer, that Mexican guy, he doesn't whisper on his show. What's the name? Caesar Milan? I don't know where they got the word whisper from. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why some people, they could upload political banners, they could post all kinds of articles and videos, and they could type tons of commentary on social media. But when it comes to putting their money where their mouth is and, going for the gusto and grabbing the bull by the corns and opening up their webcam to come on a live stream show that is also being recorded, they just don't have the balls. They're like Bernie Sanders was when he was campaigning for the guy who won mayor of Chicago, the black guy. He was, we got to defund the police. We got to defund the police. We got to put all the money towards social programs. Yeah, he was so anti-police in a city with such a high crime rate and a high homicide rate. And I think he was sucking up to that part of the population for votes, because I think Bernie Sanders is going to do something in 2024. So anyway, I am going to close up the store and just say I wish everyone a happy Easter weekend 2023. Have a safe, healthy, and enjoyable holiday weekend, the biggest holiday for Christianity, Easter or Ishtar. If you're not Christian and you practice paganism, Ishtar is the fertility goddess. And enjoy. Eat lots of good food. Spend quality time with relatives, even relatives that are very annoying, and I know they can be. Moochers. Any moochers out there? Any people who have in-laws that are moochers? You know? But, so, people out there, let me know if you would like me to do progressive discussions next Thursday. No, not next Thursday. No, I'll be doing progressive discussions Saturday. That's right. Next, not this Saturday, next Saturday. And then we'll play it by ear. Okay? I'll be bouncing back and forth from Thursday to Saturday. Back to Thursday or remain on Saturday. Back and forth. And then Red Pill Man Cave will be the usual time slot. Sundays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. For advice, banter, and fun, gentlemen. Okay? So, bye-bye. Enjoy.